5 years of YouTube knowledge in 15 minutes. That is my promise for today's video. I'm going to be giving you everything I've learned over the last 5 years that I've accrued after trial and error and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars testing new channels, new niches, kind of experimenting on the platform as a whole. So strap in, this is probably going to be one of my most valuable videos I've ever posted. And really quickly guys, if you want to go ahead and join my public Discord server, that's discord.gg/1%. Once again, just a super cool networking environment and it's completely free. And of course, as per usual, this is not financial advice. It's simply me giving my own opinion. And just so you guys know I'm not completely full of shit, here's one of the channels that we ran back in 2021 to about now. Obviously, if I go and check the settings tab, you guys can see it is in Australian dollars, and I can filter this by lifetime. And then of course, head over to the revenue tab. And in the last couple of years, we've done over $500,000 in pure profit on this one specific channel. And again, just so you guys know I'm not completely full of shit, I can once again check the currency. It is Australian dollars, aka my currency. I believe in USD, this is probably about 350K. Now, the first thing that I've learned over the years, and this is once again one of the biggest things I see people in my mentorship program and even people working directly with me in my circle, they all struggle with one thing, and that's called chasing the gold and burning out. This is the biggest killer. Do you think any of these channels, Space Dust, these guys that make $30,000 a month posting ultra long form content, or even the Amagi, they've made over $3 million on this one channel. Do you think any of these guys would still be around to this day if they gave up after not seeing performance on the first 10 videos? The answer is no. They simply wouldn't, because YouTube is like a snowball effect. If you're posting consistently, if you keep going, you don't consistently give up, and you choose a niche with proof of concept, and this is once again another super big factor, you have to make sure the niche you're choosing has proof of concept. It's worked before, and you know there's an audience on YouTube that will pursue that content and make sure it's evergreen. And if you do all those things and the niche you're doing ticks all those boxes, you will without a doubt succeed. It really just takes time, and the biggest thing I see people doing is chasing the gold. Now, what I mean by this is, for example, I start a channel called the Amagi. I get so excited. I'm into it. I'm posting consistently. I've posted for about a week and I haven't seen results. And then I find a new channel. For example, Gumball Universe. This guy's making like 30K a month posting Gumball content. So I might immediately see this and just stop the avatar channel and start posting in Gumball. And that's what I call chasing the gold. You simply don't stick to something long enough to see results and see the snowball effect that really comes with YouTube automation as a whole. And this counts for whether you're doing short form, long form, heck, even ultra long form. And I'd argue that this is the most prevalent on ultra long form, because if you're getting 500K views a month consistently 5 years down the line, that's still $15,000 a month from not posting new videos. So never burn out. At least give a niche a go for a couple months, 1 to 2 months, to even see those results. And again, if it's a niche that has proof of concept, for example, a niche like Cash, this guy posts Minecraft kids content and he's making tens of millions of dollars a year. When they first started, you immediately don't see results. Now, in a niche like this, where you know there's proof of concept, you know there's longevity, you will eventually blow up, and it really just takes time. And it's a snowball effect, as I said. It will be exponential. For example, this guy here, Mongo, one of my good friends. He started a year ago in this niche and he's made over $1 million on this one channel, but he was getting 0 views for the first 50 or 60 videos. So don't get burnt out. The next thing is doing niches that have longevity over short term. Now, what do I mean by this? You guys might remember when Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were in kind of court. People were posting so many videos about Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, court case scenes. Now, this is a perfect example of a not long-term niche. In a few weeks, this is going to completely die out. AKA, the content is not evergreen. When you're posting a video and when you're starting a channel, the number one question you want to be asking yourselves through the entire process is, will this content be relevant 5 years down the line? If the answer is no, you are doing the wrong niche for longevity. Another example of a niche that is horrible for longevity is something like this: 3 hours of Stranger Things lore to fall asleep to. Now, yes, when Stranger Things was starting and coming about, this was an amazing niche. He was making thousands and thousands of dollars, probably close to 30K a month. And heck, he still is to this day, because the show still hasn't fully died out. But again, he just got demonetized. This is not a channel with longevity, and it's not something you want to be pursuing for a long time, because again, this is going to die out. You want to make sure when you're choosing a niche, it is going to be something that will be relevant 5 years from now. An example of this is, again, somebody like the Amagi. I know I talk about them a lot, but it's because I know what they're doing works. Naruto. This entire anime has been around for years and years and years. There's Boruto, the new anime, still coming out with new episodes and new manga, and this will simply never die out. The same thing can be said for a channel like Uncharted Mysteries. 5 discoveries that shock the world of ancient history. Ancient history is never going away. That is why it is history. And that's yet another example of a channel that has longevity and will never die out. Same with lo-fi channels, same with music channels. Now, this is the next part that comes into play. And that is where I see a lot of people failing as well. Delegating tasks with efficient team members. And guys, keep in mind, I am not a saint. This is something that I still struggle with to this day. And that's finding good talent and people you can actually trust to delegate your tasks to. Now, no, I'm not saying go pay scriptwriters, go pay voice actors. That is a thing of the past. We no longer need them. But paying somebody to handle the AI script writing is a different story. Now, yes, if you're writing scripts with AI every single day for all of your channels, it can become time consuming. Now, it's not to say it's difficult to do by any stretch of the imagination, but what it is difficult to do is to be doing that consistently and consistently getting prompts, putting them in 11 Labs, getting the file, and then generating the videos. That's why we need to hire talent that's extremely cheap, that don't really need to have too much understanding or knowledge on the platform as a whole to really get going. And this is something you don't want to overcompensate for. I've made this mistake numerous times. I've offered people too much equity to do really simple tasks that were honestly just tedious and just simple shit that I didn't want to do myself. So make sure you're getting cheap talent and doing it with a really efficient prompt and super optimized. So for example, if you already have a ChatGPT chat that you use to make your scripts in a specific niche, and you simply don't want to be generating those scripts every day, you can have a list of 20 video ideas, give them to somebody on Upwork or on Fiverr, probably say Upwork's the best option, and just tell them, look, this is what you need to do. Give them a clear outline to where they literally can't go wrong and they can't make mistakes. And that will handle your entire script writing for you. So they put it into 11 Labs, they give you the file, and you just save 20 minutes every day on just one channel. And again, these guys are extremely cheap. You set up a nice Discord server with some easy to read instructions, add them there, and make them send their file every single day. And that's what I mean by delegating with efficient team members and not expensive team members. Once again, I want to emphasize this. Do not pay script writers or voice actors themselves. It is not necessary anymore. Next thing, trust scores. Now, this is very, very crucial. Now, it does matter a lot more on shorts channels than it does long form channels, but again, it is still very prevalent. Now, there's many ways you can kind of optimize your trust scores, and I'm going to go into a little bit of depth on that now. First thing is this is kind of he say, she say, but I do like to warm up my accounts. What do I mean by warm up your accounts? You want to make sure the channel you're kind of doing, first and foremost, has a verified phone number. So you can literally go to the settings tab, head over to channel, go to feature eligibility, and make sure you always have intermediate features enabled. Now, again, you always want to enable advanced as well, just to be extra precautious. But again, it isn't necessary. And when you're doing long form, it isn't as important as short form. If you're doing short form, you want to make sure you're using an aged channel, meaning a channel that was created before at least 1 to 2 years ago. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in 0 view jail. But if you're doing regular long form or ultra long form, you simply need to be using a channel. It can be created brand new that has intermediate features enabled. Next thing, and this is actually something that not many people know about, you want to make sure you set the country of residence to where you are actually from. For example, and I've made this mistake numerous times, and again, it's not confirmed. It's just something that I've noticed in my own experience. You want to make sure that whatever IP address you're using, the country of residence that you set on the channel is the same one that IP address is from. For example, I'm based in Australia, so I wouldn't want to set this to US, even though it would make more sense for an RPM and stuff like that. Next thing is warming up the account. Now, this is obviously for long form. As you can see, I'm actually verified on the channel. It's a brand new channel I'm going to be starting in the AI space, but let's ignore that for now. What I've been doing over the last few days is watching videos in the same niche that I'm looking to start and kind of training my page and watching the videos throughout. Obviously, liking, commenting, and just engaging. Now, this is again, he say, she say, but in my own experience, I've noticed this does make a difference to YouTube's trust score. So by engaging with content in a similar niche to yours, you're essentially letting YouTube know you're not a robot and you're a real person with real content. So when you initially do start posting content a few days after warming up, you won't just be completely gapped with getting any suggested views or any browse impression. And this is one of the last things I want to talk about. And I know it sounds bad, gatekeeping. Now, as bad as it sounds, what people don't know, they can't ruin. What I mean by that is I've made this mistake when I was first starting out with Snapchat shows. I made $5 million from Snap shows. But the problem was, as soon as I made my first amount of money, I went around flexing it. I was showing all my friends, look guys, look, I got a Snapchat show. This is how much money I'm making. And by doing that, I ended up getting the entire community on Snapchat shows. Everyone you see on Twitter, Daniel Baton, all these other massive creators. I'm the one that got them onto the platform. And that was simply because I couldn't keep my mouth shut. And this is not something to be ashamed of. I have struggled with this for a very, very long time. And I'm even now struggling with this problem. You have to learn that when you have something that works and that's super valuable and exploding, you just don't say anything. And I know it's hard. I know you want to go around and tell people, look what I'm doing. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of myself for this, but you have to remember to keep it in. And while it's riding, let it ride. Don't let too much competition come into a specific niche or a specific venture you might be doing. Because again, one question I always like to ask myself, and I ask myself this in real life every day, do I benefit myself from saying this? And I think about this before I say anything. Do I gain anything from saying this? And if the answer is no, don't say it. If the answer is yes, like if you're giving information to somebody in return for information, will I gain something? Yes, I might. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. But if it's something where you just want to simply flex to somebody, ask yourself, am I going to get anything from doing this? If the answer is no, it's probably not a good idea. And yes, guys, those were some simple facts that I've learned over the last 5 years on YouTube as a whole. If you enjoy this new style of content, let me know down below. Once again, join my public Discord server if you want to be in a completely free environment with other people that are doing YouTube automation already. It's discord.gg/1%. Again, it'll be linked down below as well if you want to go ahead and give that a join. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. See you all later.